welcome back to 2023 and our new On the Couch studio. For this episode, we're going to just take you back to our Toilet Day 2022, where we interviewed a few of our plumbers. So we'll take you back there now. My name is Lee Smith, current chairman of the Plumbing Industry Registration Board, and I'm here sitting with Ronald. And to ask any questions you have about the PRLB, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions as well, to have a conversation about the plumbing industry. And, as the chairman, hopefully I can answer these questions, but put me on the spot, Ronald. Anyway, Ronald, thanks very much for joining us.
No, thanks.
Are you're a mentor?
Yes, I am a mentor.
I presume we had a discussion before the time. Tell me a little about your company.
Okay, so Go Ventures is it's a company that is part of a Christian organization. So this is a part of the church. It's an independent organization, but we are part of the church, it from the church. So the idea behind bringing the young people is part of what we're trying to do as a church, part of discipleship, just mentoring young people, so that it's just the worldview around around the life itself and what they would do outside. So as we're mentoring these young people, we're just not mentoring them as plumbers. We're giving them a completely worldview about them being respectful, about being good citizens, and then returning you. You gotta have good plumbers out there.
100%. I mean, that's good, because I like when you say that it's not just about plumbing, about all those other skills that you bring along, being a good citizen, being about professionalism, how you conduct yourself in the industry from that point of view. So you say you are the mentors to this. How many kids you got in the program?
So at the moment we've got 3. We started the program in 2018. So already the other guys, they've qualified already. That we started with 2 of them. So this is a new group that we have now. So we're hoping that by the time we're done with these guys, we have something solid going on. So at the moment, we're still learning, since it's a new thing. But because of myself being registered as a PRB licensed plumber, I get some of the relevant information that I can try to just put together so that I can use it also as part of the training program for these guys. So which is one of the questions that I would also want to ask. How would PRB help in the sense that when these guys are done, so that they can be easily fit into the system? What is there some kind of a template that we can use for them to be ready for the world? So that when they come, they're qualified, and they know that they're just gonna fit into the system that is already in.
So when you say the system, I just wanted to say clarity on is that I think, and again, I'm not going to put the questions, and I'm putting the questions or the is that, you taking them along a journey. Yes. That's so. And you're taking them along the journey based on what you understand a plumber should be. Obviously, you should be guided, you are guided by what we refer to as the curriculum. And the curriculum specifies exactly what a plumber should know. Obviously, you've done that journey yourself from that point of view. But as I was speaking to your youngsters, on the previous episode, is that it's not just about your qualification, and now it's beyond that. And is that what you're asking? Is because it's not just about that piece of paper. It's understanding what that beyondness is, if you want to say it from that point of view. It's a very difficult question to answer, because each person has got their own journey. Obviously, there is standard stuff that we do have, and I think a good guiding light would be the fact that you are when you come and register with the PRLB, obviously you go through an induction program. You go through an induction program with the new registrants, and then further to that is that we do an assessment on the individual, just to try and ground him and make sure that he understands what is required of him, more specifically with a theory and a standard stars. As I spoke to your youngsters in the previous episode, what was very important to understand, and I'm going to reiterate it, is the fact that just because you've got your qualification, so you know this, doesn't mean you know everything, isn't that so? And that's why we always make reference to this CPD, continuous professional development. And people, I mean, admittedly, it's a challenge in our industry because people buffer against continuous professional development. But the development is for yourselves. It's for those youngsters. And if the quicker they get into that stream of things, in other words, join the PRRB as learner plumbers, they will get the notifications and then start getting them onto the webinars, getting them, sit them down, and just through that 15 minutes of learning and engaging, they will pick up that specific knowledge and they will a better understanding what is required of you beyond that of just your qualification. Good. Anyway, we're going to take a break just to pay for the lights, even though there are none sometimes. But join us soon.
Good day. How can I help you?
Hi, I'm here to log in my COCs, but I seem to be having an issue with my computer.
No problem. But did you know that you can log your COCs using an app on your cell phone?
Oh, what app is that?
It's called the App Plumber. Do you have a smartphone with you?
Yes, I do.
Oh well, let me show you how it works.
Not only can you access your PRRB profile on the App Plumber, but you can also earn CPD points while exploring the plumbing industry in the palm of your hand. Download the app from Google Play Store and join thousands of other happy users.
Welcome back from the break, and thanks for joining us. On the couch, I've got Ronald from Go Ventures. Ronald, have you got any other questions for me?
Yes, I do have one last question for you. So there's a little bit of challenge with the plumbers transitioning from registered licensed plumbers into gas. My question is there something that the industry is doing to facilitate a smooth transition? I think the challenge is more on the system side. So just logistics, is there something that PRB IOPSA is doing to assist?
So we've had this question, a very similar question before on the specific thing. So let's just talk from the bigger picture perspective. So the rest of the world, or the majority of the world, is that a gas and plumbing work very close together. Generally, the plumbing side of thing takes the lead, and then you transgress into the gas. In South Africa, it's completely different. In South Africa, you're a plumber, and you are then a gas installer. Two different things. You can become a gas installer, or you can become a plumber, or if you become a gas installer and want to become a plumber, you go through that. But the two are not linked together, and I think that's where the challenge lies in the specific process. It's not necessarily a seamless process that the two work together, because there are two different disciplines in the eyes of our legislation, regulations from that point of view. But I must admit, and I'll talk to your point where I believe the challenge might be lying. But I want to just first make the point is that I think transitioning from being a plumber into a gas is relatively easy with your hand skills. But where the challenge comes in, and you must experience it more than what I do, and let's just talk about from a training perspective, is that it sits more on, they want you to learn about the legislation and the gas regulations and how far the bottle needs to be away and all that specific environment. And if I understand it correctly, how long did it take you? 2 weeks, 1 week's worth of training to?
Yes, I would say a month.
A month?
With the practicals.
But with the practicals, but then the practical is that post the training, you go out and then you get mentored by somebody. And once you achieve that, so you're saying to me that within a month you achieved your from start to finish. I repeat that, from start to finish, it's a month. But that's because you've had a lot of the experience. You're taking that knowledge with you. But what you are questioning is that journey that you took was challenging insofar as trying to get into that system and that process. So I acknowledge, and I don't really have the answer to it because we haven't approached it so much with the gas guys. I must acknowledge the fact that the Institute of Plumbing have got a very good relationship with them. There's ongoing discussions with them, and we would hope in the future that we'll bring closer together so the transition is so much easier. We have made allowance, obviously, I'm sure you are aware of it. If not, I hope is that you can take your gas certificate and you can go to, you can get your designation on your card as well. You know, you can just put it on there. So you can get that little tick on your card. So if you turn your card over, it shows gas as well. But the requirements for that is that you have to come with your licensed SAQCC registration and give it to that specific thing from that point of view. But that's good. I mean, it's good to you, and it's the question that came last time was definitely as we're progressing into different heating systems. Gas is one of them, and that's where the question came from. But it just opens up your scope at the end of the day, and it's exactly the same, is that we don't stop learning. We continuously learn from that. So well done to you from that point of view. Great. And let me ask you a question. So what is it actually to be for you to be a professional? What does it mean to you? I mean, you registered as a PRLB.
Yeah, no, it means a lot. You actually see the differences in your approach. Out there, it's bad. It is really hectic stuff is happening. So you actually separate yourself from the rest of the world, and you actually see the difference when you go out there, and also the fact that you get those podcasts, you have access to extra information, the continuous developments. Those things are very important because there's always that information that you need and you don't know exactly where to find it. Mm-hmm. But when you go to YouTube, when you go on your plumbers app, you just type what you're looking for. There's always a podcast or a video that was done based on what you want. So it is actually very informative and valuable that you get to have such kind of information. So being a professional plumber is invaluable. I can put it that way.
And I like what you were saying. You're saying you kept on using the emphasis you, because it's about you. I don't mean Ronald, but you as an individual. The PRLB doesn't make you. You make yourself. The PRLB is just a recognition of what you have achieved at the end of the day. Because it is us as a collective that makes the difference and the professionalism in our industry.
Also, like you said, it keeps you grounded, because I think we get tempted to veer off a little bit because of the challenges that we meet out. Say, there's temptation of money, but I mean, if you're guided with those principles, if you're guided with the motherboard, then you always know that, I mean, there's consequences to if I do something wrong. So it keeps you grounded.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it any better, Ronald. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to off to another break. See you soon.
The PRB Master Plumber Recognition Program has officially arrived. As an essential service to society, there must be constant growth and development within this important and ever-changing industry. Developed by the PRB, the Master Plumber Recognition Program has launched as a new PRB designation, allowing industry champions to take the lead. Skilled and experienced plumbers equipped to take the lead, enroll today to start your journey in becoming a recognized PIRB Master Plumber.
Being part of an industry professional body is a personal decision.
To those who take pride in their trade, it stretches far beyond having a status of being licensed to issue certificates of compliance.
To them, the consumer matters.
As part of the plumbing industry, you help to bring the most valuable commodity to civilization. Water is life.
Be sure to continue to reap the benefits of being a proudly PIRB registered plumber by continually renewing your registration.
So a big shout out to Ronald for joining us on the couch last year. Really appreciate it, and appreciate it to all the other guests that have joined us. But before we go, I just want to remind you that you must keep those questions coming through to us. SMS, drop it on the WhatsApp line, the Facebook, email it in, and we'll try and answer them on the couch. Before we go, just want to pick up one more video question from Rodwell. Rodwell, take it away.
Hi there, I'm Rodwell Makonzo from Rodwell's Plumbing. So I would like to ask about the pressure valves. Why is it they're saying we need to, you can't have a pressure valve more than 10 meters to the geyser. So I would like to know what is that? Thanks.
So Rodwell, thanks for the question. So let's start off by saying that the standards do not specify as to where the pressure control valve should be positioned. The manufacturer, on the other hand, may do that. So have a look at the specifications as to what the manufacturer prescribes. But let's look at the physics behind why we put a pressure control valve closer to the source, such as a geyser. So, as an example, and I might be exaggerating, you have an incoming mains from the municipality line, which is feeding a property, and let's just, for argument's sake, let's say that's 100 meters away. So when the pressure comes in at the mains, and by the time it comes to the property, 100 meters away, and it might even go up to a second or a third floor, you will agree with me that we're going to have a pressure drop between the mains and the house. Whatever that is, that could be due to friction loss, it could be due to the size of the piping, whatever it is, we'll have a loss between the municipal mains and the house. So if we had to put the pressure control valve at the property, sorry, let me rephrase it, not at the property, if we had to put the pressure control valve at the municipal incoming line, you will agree with me that pressure reducing valve, exactly what the name, reduces the pressure at that point based on the specified rating of that pressure control valve. So let's say it's 400 kPa. So the municipal line comes in at 10 kPa, and let's start that one again. So let's again use the example where, so let's say the municipal line is 10 bar coming in, and you got a 400 kPa reducing valve at the municipal 4 bar. That means the pressure reduction is going to take place at the municipal line at 4 bar, and then we're going to have a reduction in the line all the way up to the property. So you might coming in at 4 bar, but when it gets to the property, it might be 4 bar. On the other hand, if we take the pressure control valve and move it closer to the source from the municipal incoming line, it means that we will only have the pressure reduction, the total pressure reduction at the source. So the municipal line will be coming in at 10 bar. It might have its friction loss, but at least when it reaches the house, it might be 9 bar. And therefore, when it gets to the pressure control valve, and going through it, the house will be supplied with 400 kPa or 4 bar, and it means it's closer to the source. So therefore, you'll have less of a friction loss in the house. It might have been a bit confusing, but if you have a look at, there is a whole lot of CPD programs online that you can go through and catch up on. So I hope that makes sense to you, Ronald. Thank you very much for the question. It was a very thought-provoking question, and keep those questions coming. Thank you very much for your time, ladies and gentlemen. Plumbers, keep those questions coming, as I said earlier on. Thank you, and we'll join you next time.